Well, I know Eric had an appointment, so he will jump in when he's ready, but we can kind of get the ball rolling. So, like I said earlier, Mitch is out of town. Eric is on his way, and Nifty is live on the panel. Um, so I will run us through kind of some of the updates that have happened in the past week. So, a couple of blog posts have been put out as well, but basically we've been focused on making the Inleo UI as smooth and stable as possible. So the focus on the front end for Inleo has been fixing bugs, pushing stability updates, and overall just making it a better experience. And I put out some blog posts kind of talking about the technical debt and how we were focused on cleaning that up. Now that I feel good about where the features are at in terms of the front end. So cleaning up the technical debt is the focus for that. In April, we pushed, I think, about 40 bug fixes and various updates. 2 days ago, I put out a blog post that outlined every single update that we did and bug fix that we pushed. So a lot of good stuff on the front end side of things, and I hope you guys have noticed that the UI has become a lot more stable. And I, as always, with my public service announcements, a lot of you guys use that hashtag feedback tag when you post threads. That is very helpful. So I look through that every single day, looking for feedback on things that we need to fix, any bugs that you guys encounter. So definitely keep using that hashtag so that I can keep finding stuff for the dev team to fix and make the UI even more stable. So it's very important. I know a lot of people think that it's like gimmicky or that we're not paying attention to it, but we do pay a lot of attention to it. I have it booked. It's actually my homepage for Inleo, so it's the first thing I look at every time I go to Inleo, which is many times a day. So definitely keep up the feedback threads. The more information you can provide, like screenshots and whatnot, the better. Yeah, Caleb said we don't have jumping text anymore. Yeah, there was a really interesting bug that I have no idea how that even happened, but it was like a jumping text bug. It was very interesting, but that's been fixed. And along with 39 other things, like I mentioned in April, and then in May, what is our stack looking like right now? We've got, I don't know if I can open this without ruining the stream. We've got about 40 more bugs in May that we're focused on. So, and we've already completed 16 since May 1st. So pretty insane the pace of fixes and updates that we've been doing. And a big part of that has been onboarding a new dev who is solely focused on bug fixes and technical debt. So he is kind of like the code janitor, if you will, kind of keeping things clean as we push new features. At least that's how it will be, kind of going forward after we get through this mountain of technical debt. So right now we're just focused on get everything really stable, get everything really smooth, working extremely well. And then from that point, we'll start to get back to doing new features. But with that being said, we've now got a team member who, while we're creating new features, will be cleaning things up and making sure that things aren't breaking across the spectrum. So yeah, Lukeel, if you still experience glitches, you should be posting threads with hashtag feedback and explain them as detailed as you can with screenshots. And like I said, we are cleaning up all that stuff. So there are a lot of edge cases. So when it comes to fixing a lot of this stuff, it's like we fix it on Chrome iOS, but then it breaks on Brave Android. It's like there's always some type of nuance, some different device. So the more feedback you guys can give us, the better, because all of you guys have different devices, different, connections, different, ways of signing in. If you really think about how many different devices, browsers, you know, age of device, means of logging in, like when you combine all of those things together, you get like so many different combinations of ways that people access Inleo. So we can't, as a team, test every single possibility. We'd have to buy, every device on the market, from tablets to mobile to computers, and it's just impossible for us to test for all the edge cases. So that's why the feedback is so important for us. So that covers us mostly for Inleo. Like I said, just again focused on bug fixes and stability. And then on the LeoDex side, we pushed XDeFi last week along with Hive inbound swaps. So that was big, and we've been testing it a lot. I'm sure a lot of you guys have used it. And if you haven't tried it yet, highly recommend giving it a shot, giving us some feedback on it. LeoDex is still in beta, so we are working through issues and continuing to make that a better experience as well. And then SPS and DEC. So the current plan is to launch SPS and DEC by Thursday of this week. So you'll be able to do both inbound and outbound for SPS and DEC simultaneously. So that will be definitely fun to see and fun to collaborate with the Splinterlands community on. See how much usage we can get over to LeoDex and the Hive aggregation technology we've built. With those two being launched, we've also been able to build an entire backend for Hive engine swaps. So we're going to release SPS and DEC, and then it's very possible that we can start releasing other Hive engine tokens in the future. So right now, focus is on Hive, SPS, DEC, and then we'll do HBD afterwards. So you'll be able to do HBD swaps on LeoDex, native HBD to L1 assets, and vice versa. So that's kind of the focus on the dev front. Yeah, I think that's all I got for dev updates, just to run through it really quickly. I think Eric is in the Zoom, adding him to the space. Eric, can you try talking so I can check the audio?
Hey, test. Hey guys, sorry for being late, but I'm right here.
You're good. Yep. All right. I got you loud and clear on all of the places. Sweet. So we were kind of talking about this yesterday, Nifty, Eric, and I, about turning the AMA into more of a roundtable, like the good old days. So I actually, at that point, I didn't know that Mitch wasn't going to be here. So we got a little trial run today without Mitch, and then next week, if this goes well, we'll have and if Nifty and Eric are around, we'll have them back on and try to do a 4-person round table. So anything you guys want to update the community on, LeoDex or Inleo or otherwise?
I would let Nifty speak first.
Give him some time to think.
I was gonna let Eric speak first to give Nifty some time to speak, but no, just like you said, the main focuses right now are stability. Of course, that's for Inleo and LeoDex, and making the best version of both platforms. But the biggest thing that we're testing, of course, right now with LeoDex is SPS for SPS and DEC dark energy crystals from Splinterlands, because I mean we all know there's a huge Splinterlands community. Most of those players are moving in and out of Hive one way or another, moving in and out of SPS one way or another, maybe using a centralized exchange or some other route, but we want to get that bulletproof. That way, those users can stop using centralized exchanges for the most part, and support really Hive as a whole by using LeoDex, and moving their volume through LeoDex for SPS and DEC. Huge opportunity we have there, and huge advantage for Splinterlands players that need to move in and out of those assets. I don't play Splinterlands myself, but I know we have a massive amount of people that do, and that do move in and out of those assets every day.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, I think when you look at trading volume on Hive and Hive's second layer, Splinterlands is definitely at the top, and it's by a huge margin. I think it's literally like all the Splinterlands assets are like all the top traded assets on Hive L2. And then you've got like Leo is second top in terms of trading volume. And then the list just kind of dwindles from there. But Splinterlands is definitely the top dog when it comes to trading volume. And as we all know, every dollar that's swapped using the Hive aggregator is basically $2 worth of volume for LeoDex. So you've got obviously the volume on the Leo Maya pool, the Leo Cacao pool, and then you've got the volume on the Leo swap.hive pool on Hive. So every dollar that moves across the bridge is a dollar swapped in the Leo Hive pool and a dollar swapped in the Leo Cacao pool. And then on top of that, if there's enough trading volume and enough swaps going on, arbitrage has to fix those two pools. So basically every dollar can somewhat be equal to $3 to $4 worth of trading volume when you count arbitrage into that, so that the pools can rebalance. Because when you have and some people have asked this, which is kind of why I wanted to go over it. Some people have asked why sometimes when you input, for example, because right now Hive swaps are the only ones that are live, but obviously when SPS, DEC, and HBD go live, they'll all have the same effect. Sometimes when you do like input Hive, output Cacao, for example, you can actually make money on the swap. So like it'll be like, despite all the fees, you will actually profit from selling Hive into Cacao. The reason for that is because of the price difference between the Leo Hive and the Leo Cacao pool. So sometimes when those pools are imbalanced, like for example, if the Leo Hive pool is cheaper than the Leo Cacao pool, then doing that outbound swap will actually result in a profit. Since you're kind of technically buying Leo cheap and then selling it a little bit more expensively. So, and then obviously the vice versa can happen. And the ultimate goal is that liquidity depth increases. And then what you see is as that liquidity depth increases and arbitrage increases and just overall trading volume increases, the difference in those swaps gets lower and lower. So the price gets more efficient, and it's like near zero fees to do those swaps. So that's the ultimate goal, and we need some kind of early flywheel volume to get to that place.
Can confirm on the price efficiency, it is incredible. So right now, if you do a Hive to say USDC on Arbitrum swap right now, a lot of times you're actually getting a little bit more value than you inputted with your Hive because of that difference, like you said. So it would be probably silly to not take advantage of that while we have it. Because as you said, as those pools get deeper and deeper, a lot of that arbitrage opportunity is going to go away. So, if you're trading Hive already, do it on LeoDex and take advantage of the price efficiency. It's fast, it's cheap, and you don't have to worry about KYC or logging into an account or any of the SEX things, centralized exchange things that you may be used to at this point. But Nifty no like those.
Yeah, it's great because it's all running on Maya. So you connect the wallet and then you go, and there's no there is no account. So when people talk about KYC and stuff, the reason why you don't have to KYC is because you're just using your own wallet. It's the same as if you were to just send crypto somewhere. So that's what's really powerful about these decentralized exchanges.
And speaking about volume, right now, this is just to let the community know what's going on with this. We spoke with the ThorSwap team, and they are getting the token Leo is not measured the same way that any other Uniswap token in terms of volume. Why? Because it's paired to Cacao, and Cacao is CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and all of these trackers. They do not track the Maya blockchain the same way that they would track an EVM chain. So they are actually listing the pool on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap. And once that pool is listed, we will be able to actually list the Leo token on these trackers. So that's why we don't have a presence on CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap and all of these trackers right now, because we are waiting on the ThorSwap team is it Thor Wallet or ThorSwap? I don't remember. I have to check. But we are waiting on another team to actually get it done, so we can get it done. And yeah.
That's
And
kind of a good
regarding-
point too, is that we've entered this realm of these L1 dexes, and we've talked about this privately, Eric and Nifty and I, that they are very like out in the crypto world, you know, making waves, constantly innovating, and they're also very collaborative. So it's like, you know, they do something and it ultimately benefits us. We do something and it benefits them. There's a lot of collaboration going on in this cross-chain space. And I've always been a big proponent of going cross-chain and being chain agnostic. So, you know, working with the Maya team these past, you know, 2 months since we started talking to them, you know, about the actual listing of Leo. And then also, like Eric mentioned, you know, there's a lot of teams in this space that are innovating and finding ways to build each other up. So, you know, tapping into that has been really positive for Leo already. And I think you're going to start to see even more positive impacts from that.
Yeah, exactly. And well, in the end, we will need volume to get listed everywhere. Well, to make the listing be worthwhile, in the sense of like, if we have low volume, then CoinGecko can't stop tracking it, whatever, things like that. So the kind of volume that we have right now is good, but of course, as Carl said at the beginning, we need more volume. We need pretty much all of the volume, the $70 million worth of volume that Hive has. We need that. I mean, of course, we can do good with 10% of that, but the goal would be to have 100% of the Hive volume, right?
Yeah, the goal would definitely be to go after 100% of centralized exchange volume for Hive. But you know, I've run the numbers, and it's between like $30 million to $80 million a month is traded just Hive on centralized exchanges. And that is 90% of that is on Binance. So you know, Hive has this existential threat, and I've talked about it many times, where, you know, the number of centralized exchanges that have Hive and various Hive pairs has been decreasing over time. So in my opinion, and I've been talking about this for years now, it's extremely important to get more decentralized exchange volume for Hive, just to shed some risk, you know, away from Binance and these other centralized exchanges. You know, and we've seen time and time again how dangerous it is to be reliant on these exchanges. You know, whether you look at something localized like the Steam hostile takeover, or you look at something that was much more big scale like the FTX blow up. You don't want to be reliant on these centralized exchanges, especially as, you know, governments start to crack down and continue to crack down on what these businesses do. So decentralized exchanges have long been, you know, a big goal of mine, not just for Leo, but for Hive in general. So I would love to see 10%. That's like kind of my 2025 goal for LeoDex, is that 10% of Hive centralized trading volume moves over to LeoDex and the Maya rails that we've built, you know, with cross-chain dexes. I think it's going to be, I think people are going to be surprised at how fast that happens. It's going to be kind of like a you know, suddenly and then all at once type of thing. It's going to be very slow going in the beginning, but then all of a sudden you're just going to realize, you know, the volume has exponentially increased. You know, and I've talked about the flywheel effect a lot. I did that podcast with Taskmaster last week, and we talked about it. But you know, when you start to get initial traction for LeoDex, you're going to start to see that volume just get absorbed from centralized exchanges, and ultimately that's just better for the entire ecosystem, especially because all of the trading fees that are collected from that are going to permanently pool either Leo Hive or Leo Cacao. So, you're basically permanently eating up the supply of these three different assets, Leo, Cacao, and Hive. And then you're permanently pooling them and ultimately increasing the potential swap volume, uh, in the long run. Streaming swaps, I've been told, are coming to Maya at some point in the next like 3 to 8 weeks, it seems. So, streaming swaps are going to be really fascinating to see if they have even close to the impact that they had for Thorchain on Maya. It's going to be massive trading volume that's going to suddenly flood into Maya, not just for, Leo, but for all the assets. So, my goal is that by the time streaming swaps get released, LeoDex is in like a really, the top tier. When you think of the best UI to use Maya, I want LeoDex to be that UI. So, I'm working really hard to get us to that place before streaming swaps go live. And then we're already building kind of the architecture that's needed for streaming swaps by looking at how it's done on ThorSwap and ThorChain. So when streaming swaps are live with Maya, we'll be able to be, one of the first UIs at bat with streaming swaps ready to go. So that's going to be huge, and it's going to be huge for Hive trading volume as well. So we're going to be working on, because streaming swaps will work, for all the Maya assets, obviously. And then we have to actually build a streaming swap Hive aggregator. So it's almost like building a whole other aggregator down the line when streaming swaps are ready. But we're going to figure that out. I've got a couple designs in mind for how to do that. Um, and yeah, I mean, if you track the volume of Thorchain and look at when streaming swaps were released, it was like within 4 months of them getting released, the volume was like 10x, and now it's like 100x what it used to be. So it's very profound. And streaming swaps is incredibly bullish for Maya in general.
I actually have a question because I was trying to do this this morning, but is there going to be a way for users to say they have Ethereum and they want to send Dash? So can they swap and send an asset with like in the same transaction, or is it always going to be the swap first and then the transfer?
So you can, like, if your goal is to like swap, if your goal is to swap Ethereum into Dash and have that Dash go to a specific wallet, your best method for doing that would be you can actually change the recipient wallet on LeoDex. Um, and you can already do that, but you just have to be really careful with it, which is why it's a little bit buried in the UI. Because if the user mistypes the recipient address at all, they'll obviously lose the funds. So definitely important to be really careful about how you enter the recipient wallet address.
Pro tip: copy and paste.
Copy, paste, and check.
Copy, paste, and check the last 5 digits like 7 times, and you'll be
Yep.
golden.
That's exactly what I do. That's exactly what
If
I
you're
do.
paranoid like me, you'll check like 5+ times minimum.
Oh, if you want to know like the ultimate paranoia, because in my 9 years of being in this industry, have definitely done it a few times. What I do now is especially for bigger transactions, so I paste it and then I copy it from where I pasted it before I send the transaction. And then I go to the block explorer for that blockchain and I paste it again. And then I check to make sure that it's the right wallet. And then for 100% fact that you're going to the right place. But that is my ultra paranoid technique.
And then you still do a test transaction just to be sure.
Definitely.
Still. We're all damaged. Hey. We're traumatized.
Emotional damage.
I mean, it is the burden of being your own bank, right? So
yeah, these are basics of crypto. If you wanna be your own bank, you want to self-custody your assets, you have to be responsible enough to make sure that they're at least going to an address that exists. And if it does exist, that it's your address,
Yeah.
Hey, I
You
actually
know,
have a question that has
go
nothing to
ahead.
do with the topic, but we have 67 listeners on the live stream, not the spaces. So where can we track that? Like, is that on YouTube or is that people watching on Twitter
Where are you seeing 67?
in the live stream on X?
Huh.
There's plus 69 right now. So I'm just wondering if it takes the people watching on YouTube or if it takes only the people watching on X. Because
That
that's amazing.
yeah, that's only the people on X. Yeah. Well, you know, X, I think they recently did a bunch of updates. So, like if you go to the Inleo account, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. If you go to the Inleo account, you can see there's like this new bubble, like a pink bubble when you're live, when you're doing a live stream. So that's new.
Oh yeah.
So maybe they've done some really good updates to boost live streams. Seems like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, 70 people watching live, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you know, it's we stream in so many different places now, and I think this is a good thing for us in the long run, but you can see like the Inleo account streams the video, and then my personal account streams the X space. And then we also have a YouTube stream. We used to have a Facebook stream, but I don't think we're doing that anymore. And then I'm also recording it on OBS for the recording that goes live with the threadcast overlaid. So we're in all the places.
All the places. Tiago is asking, when will we be able to upload images with better resolution? I think that fix was already pushed to labs, and we're just waiting for more testing before it goes to production, right, Kyle?
Yeah, the so we have a compressor that compresses images when you guys upload them, and a big reason for that is speed of the UI. So, you know, other UIs you can have higher quality images because if you don't have threads, you don't have as much content in one loading say one loading iteration. So, you know, if you're loading a post, obviously you only have the images in that one post. If you're loading the entire threads feed, you've got all the images recently posted on threads. So it can get pretty heavy. So we have improved the quality in the past week. And then we also fixed a ton of image uploading issues in general, which we had a blog post about on the Leo Finance account, I think about 5 or 6 days ago. But the image quality is something that I think we'll be working on kind of continuously for the foreseeable future, but just kind of hammering away at better at providing better resolution without compromising speed. And I have a couple ideas for doing that as well. So we'll be working on that. But they're already, I would say they're probably already 2x better than they were before last week. And we'll keep continuing to improve them from here.
I see a couple things about LeoDex and the Threadcast I just wanted to address. Number one, we have almost surpassed Asgardex in swap count, which is huge, right? We want to be up there at the top, but we also need volume on these swaps. So, you know, it's great to put us up there at the top of the swap count. Maybe some people on Myascan are looking and they're like, oh, what's LeoDex? I see they're doing a lot of swap volume and maybe they start using it, but definitely would be nice to see us moving up the volume ranker as well. So definitely, if you're not shouting from the rooftop about LeoDex, you should be, and you should probably, maybe, possibly also be creating content about it. Um, you know, tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your kids, use LeoDex, and then an actual question I saw. I don't know who posted it, but it was asking about the gas, the Arbitrum gas faucet. They said it was Caleb Marble. I've tried to pay the gas fee in LeoDex, but it's not working. Um, just based on your screenshot there, I can't really tell what the issue is, but a couple things to check. Make sure you have 60 Leo when you use the Arbitrum gas faucet on LeoDex. It's spending 60 Leo out of your Hive wallet. Make sure your Hive wallet is actually signed in on LeoDex. When you actually, connect your wallet, make sure you connect Hive. And those are probably one of your two issues, if I had to guess. But I just tested it yesterday. It should be working with no issue. So PSA, if you're using LeoDex and you're doing Hive swaps, you need Arbitrum gas because it routes through the LeoDash cacao pool. And Leo is on Arbitrum, so you'll need some gas. You can click the Arbitrum gas faucet button, spin 60 Leo, and you'll get your RB ETH for gas in like a couple seconds.
Yep. I mean, every time I've used it, it's worked really well. So yeah, if you have any issues with it, definitely report it to us so we can get those fixed.
Speaking of the faucet, Cal, if I understand correctly, if a user wants to swap, let's say Rune for Leo, they need a Rune to pay for fees, right?
Yes, you need a little bit of Rune for fees. So whatever the kind of rule of thumb is, whatever chain your input is from, you'll need a little bit of gas from that chain. So for Rune, obviously the gas is Rune. For let's say you're doing USDT on Ethereum, your gas is Ethereum. So you need a little bit of Ethereum. If you're doing Leo, you need a little bit of Arbitrum gas because your blockchain is Arbitrum. So whatever asset you're swapping, you should know what the gas is for that asset. So if it's an Arbitrum token like Leo or GLD, then you'll need Arbitrum ETH because that's the gas asset for that chain. So Rune is obviously Rune, which makes it easy. Cacao is also Cacao, so that makes it easy. So yeah, just make sure that you have gas for whatever token you're swapping, and that will make your life a lot easier.
Yeah, but you don't need that gas token on the receiving side, right? So if you wanted to trade Rune for Leo on Arbitrum, you would not need Ethereum on Arbitrum to actually do the swap.
Receive it. Exactly. Yep. And it's, think of it like you're sending an asset, right? Like you can create a fresh wallet and have nothing in it, no gas, no assets of any kind, but you have a wallet address and you can send as much as you want to that wallet. But as soon as you turn around and want to send something from that wallet, you need gas. So yeah, when you receive a token, you don't need anything in that receiving address.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
Someone's hearing a lot, or a couple people are hearing a lot of echoes.
I actually have a couple of things I wanted to mention about what we're doing as team. Sunseeker is here as well. She's also like for the community who's wondering. So we just came up with a way to measure how premium users are performing, because as you guys know, the premium subscription, which is only 10 HBD a month, being premium offers a lot of benefits, and one of those is that your post gets more visibility, you get more exposure, and thus you get more votes in general. And we are measuring how much rewards each premium user is getting, and we have come to we came up with a solution to ensure that all of these premium users who are actually contributing to generating revenue for the flywheel, not for the company, but for the flywheel effect that we are looking to get started with in Leo. And we are basically tracking how premium users are performing, and we are helping them perform better. So we just came up with a dashboard to measure that. So that's what we're doing right now on the Leo side of things. in the company. And what else? Oh yeah, we are coming up with a report that will check who used in Leo over the past 15 months, and then we are going to tell them to come back if they stopped using in Leo at any point during 2023 or the beginning of 2024. So that, because there was a lot of people who said, oh, okay, so you have a new interface, let me try it. But as you know, we're always at the bleeding edge of innovation. So we had a lot of bugs over the past year that we fixed, but people already experienced them. So they said, okay, maybe I'll come back when these rough edges are polished. So now that they are polished, we are reaching out to them so that they try the UI again. So that's what we're doing this week, and we will be doing the same this month. We are reaching out to all of these people because we had around 7,000 people who used in Leo over the past 15 months, roughly. So we're reaching out to all of them. Already not all of them, maybe like just the active ones, the ones that are still active on Hive at the moment.
Yeah, because I think
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think we can agree that the majority of users that have come, used the UI, and left have been because they ran into some kind of bug. So our idea now is, okay, we're fixing all the bugs. We're in bug squashing mode. We've got a bug janitor. So it should be much more stable for those people that left because they ran into some bugs to come back and enjoy a great experience. So that's the idea. And I couldn't imagine a reason why they wouldn't at least give it a shot and come back and try it out.
Yeah, and if you think about it, there's around 9,000 active users on Hive, and we had over the past 12 months, we had almost 7,000. So that means that, I don't know, give or take, around half of the Hive active community in the blogging side of things has tried in Leo. But we are at 1,400 users, monthly active users in Leo. So that means that roughly 3,500 came, tried it, and then decided, hey, maybe I'll come back, or maybe this is not for me, whatever. But we are gonna bring them back. And the goal of 10,000 users, monthly active users for Leo is still relevant, and it's still on our mind. And we definitely are going to keep working towards achieving that goal. And the 1,000 premium users, that's still a goal. And we are also doing everything in our power to get there.
Yeah, I've set a lot of aggressive targets for us to really, hammer in on things. But the kind of ultimate target for premiums is 1,000 before the end of this year. I think we can achieve it sooner than later, though, and I keep pushing the team to really kind of hammer in and figure out what we need to do to get to 1,000 premiums as fast as possible. And there's a lot of reasons for getting there very quickly. A big one, especially now that Leo's listed on Maya, and we have the Hive aggregator. All the revenue from Leo Premium, which gets pooled up in the @Leo pool account, it gets permanently pooled in the Leo Cacao liquidity pool on Maya. So, getting to 1,000 premiums means that $5,000 a month is organic buy pressure for Leo, and then $5,000 is going towards Cacao, and then that full $10,000 amount is getting pooled permanently in that Leo Cacao liquidity pool, which ultimately leads to more trading volume on the Hive aggregator, and that ultimately leads to more fees collected by LeoDex and the Hive aggregator and Arbitrum Leo, which ultimately gets permanently pooled. So that's where you get that flywheel effect. So Leo Premium plays a very core role in the flywheel effect for Leo and getting more volume on LeoDex. So that's why I've been pushing the team so hard on Leo Premium. And I get excited when I think about it because Leo's 5-year anniversary is coming up in July. On July 3rd, it's going to be 5 years since Leo started. And Leo Premium is kind of like the first time we've had like a legit product, if you really think about it, like a legitimate thing that we are selling. If you look at the history of Leo, it's been all about building technology, and obviously it's a very early stage startup trying to build bleeding edge tech. But one thing that startups need to do at some point is monetize themselves and get cash flow positive. And Premium has been the first time that we have like a legit thing, like, here, this is what we're selling, this is how we collect revenue, this is how we go cash flow positive. So that part, to me, kind of becoming a legitimate business has always been fascinating. And if you guys have been here since the beginning, like, I know Taskmaster will remember this stuff very intricately, but ever since the beginning of Leo, I've been trying things like Leo Shop, all the different products that we've tried, I mean, literally dozens of different products that we've, built and released, with the ultimate goal of, in the long run, going cash flow positive and being an ecosystem that generates a positive value capture for the token. Because all the revenue collected by, Leo Premium or any other product we build like LeoDex ultimately is just organic buy pressure on Leo, and then it permanently pools it for liquidity. So, it's building an ecosystem that actually captures revenue is a unique thing in the world of tech startups, and it's an even more unique thing in the world of crypto startups.
Yeah, and speaking of which, I saw a question here related to LeoDex. Maybe Nifty wants to answer it. Is there any kind of event planned for LeoDex for the launch, for the official launch of LeoDex, or for those who are doing the volume-based top trader thing, or to bring more users? Like, what's in store for LeoDex, noise and marketing related?
I don't know what's been said publicly, so I don't want to spill the beans. Cal, what have we said publicly about this? To be honest, I don't even know if it's been talked about. Has it?
The volume drop, I've teased it, but there are no details out about it yet. It will last for 60 days, and any other details are to be announced. But there is a volume drop coming, and the goal. But what's really, and I wanted to do the volume drop from day one, but obviously, building LeoDex has been a series of like uncovering more things that need to get done. So, I wanted XDeFi to get integrated. We had XDeFi. Now we have XDeFi as of last week. But after integrating XDeFi, we realized that Ethereum and Arbitrum ETH swaps are having an issue with XDeFi. So now we're trying to figure that out. So I don't want to do the volume drop until obviously Ethereum is fixed, because that's one of the biggest swap routes. So getting Ethereum fixed, and then, fixing any other issues, and then also getting the Hive, SPS, DEC, and HBD aggregators launched is also going to be, a goal before we start doing the volume drop. So I just want, because, what I expect and hope happens is that we announce the volume airdrop. We have a couple different, Maya partners that we're going to market with, one of them being putting a banner on Maya Scan. And then we're also going to reach out to a bunch of people in the, that are active on X in the Maya community. So we're going to have like a big marketing push when this volume drop actually happens and starts. And my goal is that, we do get a lot of people that come in and try LeoDex for the first time. And I don't want them to come into a UI and be like, well, this has a lot of bugs and it sucks. So, there's going to be a lot of new attention and new eyeballs on LeoDex from the Maya community. And I want to make sure that when they, I want to make sure we have a good first impression with them.
So the long story short is, yes, there will be some kind of event. Not exactly sure details yet, But the best thing you can do to prepare for said event, whenever it does come around, is get comfortable with the UI, and get familiar with how these cross-chain things work. Because realistically, if you're not already getting comfortable with cross-chain swapping and in these protocols, you're yourself a big disservice anyway. Because I foresee a future where a lot of volume from centralized exchanges starts to flow through these cross-chain protocols. So, and that's due to regulations and a number of other reasons. But I do think it's a disservice to yourself if you're not already getting comfortable with this stuff. So I would encourage you to at least read about it, and get familiar with some of the different chains. Like Kujira is very interesting and crazy high tech. Dash, you know, and all these other chains that we're going to be connected to, and that list is only going to get larger as Maya and Thorchain start aggregating together. And then, of course, any chain or any chain that's added to Maya or Thorchain at that point will be connected to LeoDex. So it's not like we have to go list a bunch of tokens and build liquidity for those. We're already connected.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. Okay. I was checking another question. Wow, the thread test is going crazy. Oh yeah. So IDK Samad, I think it was him, or was it Big Van? Well, they asked if so once all of the bugs, the existing bugs from on Inleo are fixed and the user experience is seamless, what are we planning on launching, or what feature is coming once the UI is seamless? So apparently the wins are coming, and with the like we are not even ready for wins, but they already want some teasing, some feature teasing. So
The focus in April and in May, possibly in June, but I am pretty confident we're going to be at tech debt zero by the end of May. It is just to clear technical debt and fix bugs. There will be no new features until that's done, and I'm doing that as a statement to the devs and also to you guys that I've heard you and your complaints about the issues on the UI. And like I said, for the 12-month anniversary of Project Blank UI going live was on May 1st. So we spent the first 12 months of this UI building out all the features that I believed were necessary. So like the very core features, things like the dashboard, things like threadcasts, premium, all these different features, bookmarks, lists. There's a lot of features that we've built into the UI. And these are like the core features in my mind that are absolutely necessary for the vision that I kind of laid out for Inleo. So, once all this tech debt is cleared, and I'm hoping that's by the end of May, we will get back to releasing features. But like I said, it's kind of like, we've been letting this mountain of tech debt build up for a long time, knowing that it was being built up, but focusing still on the features because I wanted to roll them out as fast as possible. And then, once that's all cleared, our ability to release new features while keeping it clean, it's almost like we had a really messy workspace, but we knew that it was messy and we still just kept working as hard as we could. But now we're going to have a really clean workspace, and then we'll be able to release features almost just as fast, probably slightly slower than before, but we'll still be releasing features very quickly, but while having a clean workspace maintained. So that's going to be the goal after May. And everything is going to be focused on premium. So I would say expect a lot of new features that make it more valuable to be a premium subscriber. Because like I said, I think our critical lead domino is getting to 1,000 premiums, because it ultimately makes the UI better, because you got like premium users, and we have data on this, are far more active than non-premium users. So they are more engaging to be with. They have a better attitude. They're earning more rewards. They're just in general, they are, you know, by having premium members, you have a more engaging and better Inleo experience. So, you know, you have that from premium, that is kind of a knock-on effect. And then you also have the flywheel effects, like I talked about with the Hive aggregator and LeoDex. So it's like 1,000 premiums is this lead domino that really takes us to the next level in a lot of ways. And it's obviously also really good for the Leo token economy, which ultimately also leads to more people wanting to make blog posts, be active on threads, because the Leo price is higher. So it's very important that we get to 1,000 premiums. So you'll see that right now we're focused entirely on stability. And then when we do get back to new features, it will be focused on premium features.
Just to mention something related to pretty much everything and anything, but I just got the results from an SQL query, and we've had 1,400,000 transactions on Inleo since the UI came went live up until April 30.
That's pretty incredible.
Between threads, comments, and posts, not votes, just the, I mean, votes, that must be like, I don't know what, like 200 times that. I don't know, but
So that's just comments, posts, and threads.
yes.
Pretty incredible.
That is nuts. I see another LeoDex question, and I think I just answered it, but I'll answer it again. I think it was Ahmad Manga asked if Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin will be on LeoDex, and the short answer is yes at some point, because Maya and Thorchain will be aggregating swaps across their protocols. So yeah, Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin are on Thorchain. So whenever that happens, again, that's not something we do. We just wait on it to happen, and then we integrate it. So that's already in the works. Just like Zcash is being added into Maya, Cardano is being added into Maya, and then at some point, I think there's a proof of work chain called Caspa that may even come at some point. So yeah, we're already in place for it. We just have to wait on it to be built.
Yeah, it's like I said earlier, it's you know, we've entered this land of cross-chain L1 dexes, and they are very the various teams in this space are very hard charging at innovation. And by positioning Leo listed on Maya, and then also the LeoDex app, we've put Leo kind of at the center of all of it. And we benefit, you know, as these other teams build really cool stuff, we you know, gain some benefit from it. And then we have these value capture mechanisms, kind of like a, you know, a fishing net that we cast out into the ocean. And ultimately we have the ability, the potential at least, to capture value as these things grow. So, you know, Maya is a $100 million protocol right now. And I believe that could go a lot higher. Thorchain is around 1.5 billion, I believe. So, you know, Maya has a lot of room to grow. And, you know, Leo is very well positioned to benefit from Thorchain's growth, to benefit from Maya's growth, to benefit from Chainflip's growth, and, you know, any other protocols, apps, and teams that ultimately join the kind of L1, you know, cross-chain DEX space. We're ultimately kind of at the center of all that. So the goal is just capture value and push that value into the Leo token.
And Morty is asking, what is the mood between the different front-end communities? Are there any reservations about Inleo I don't really know what this means, but so look, there's like 10, 12 interfaces, right, Nifty, that have the Maya chain integrated. And some of them have already Thorchain, and some others have more blockchains integrated, like using other kind of protocols. But in general, I don't think there's any kind of guilds or favorites, right? Nifty, it's just like there are some interfaces and people use whatever they like the best, and that's it. There are no like feuds, right? Feuds or whatever
Yeah,
the
I mean,
word is.
of course, people have their preferences, but I think that just comes down to what they got used to using first, which is where we come in. It's like, okay, what if we give you a better experience? Will you come to ours? And the general vibe is, yeah, we'll try it out. There's no like animosity between the different Maya interfaces at all. I think it's more everyone collaborates and works together, and I've seen it. I've witnessed it, in private talks and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I don't think there's anyone in the Cacao Swap, you know, group that wouldn't try out LeoDex, or that's used El Dorado that wouldn't try out LeoDex. I don't think there's going to be any of that nonsense. I think it's these cross chain guys. They realize that what's being built is a lot bigger than just playing tribalism favorites. They realize it's a lot bigger than that, and I think that's the difference.
Yep. Yep. I mean, in the end, like Nifty says, there's always going to be preferences, but as far as we know, that there are no nothing like what the question mentions.
Yeah, and more T actually, I do like the conversation about the LeoDex front ends too, but more T was actually talking about Hive front ends.
Oh,
But still a good discussion though, because the interface wars, and that is very relevant. But from the Hive interface perspective, I saw the last time I saw anyone in person was actually not the last time, but the last time I saw the Peak D team was at in Vegas when Mitch and I went to I don't even remember the name of the conference. A crypto
was it Breathe?
conference. Well, oh yeah, it
Breathe,
was
right?
Breathe. That's right.
Yeah.
Breathe in Vegas. So Mitch and I went there. We had a little booth for Leo in the bigger, there was a big Hive section and a couple different apps were there. So like Agrod was there representing Splinterlands. Jarvie was there for Peak D. I don't think there's any bad blood. I mean, we're all, at the end of the day, we're all building towards the same, broad scale mission of like, we're all trying to get more users, and more users for a particular front end means more users for the Hive blockchain. And, Hive users, as they get more deeply integrated and build their understanding of Hive, they can potentially, move across other UIs and other apps for the different feature sets that they each have. I think one thing that I would like to see more of on Hive in general is, people should build, you know, each app should build its own kind of thing, like you don't have every app kind of building the same thing, because that would be somewhat pointless. Like you kind of want every app to be unique in some kind of capacity. Like in the Web2 world, you've got like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and I'm obviously, kind of talking a little bit historically here, Telegram, and like LinkedIn. And like they each kind of have their own little niche that they're going after. Like LinkedIn is going after more business professionals. They have blog posting, and they have, connecting with people so that you can help each other find jobs and whatnot. Twitter is more like text based. Obviously, it's X now. More text based. Interacting with each other, kind of news oriented. Facebook has skewed a little bit to older people sharing pictures and connecting with friends. Instagram is skewed a little bit younger, a little bit more hip, sharing pictures and videos. So each platform kind of has their own little niche. They are competing, so you do see some competition and overlap in that regard. But at the end of the day, you have like when you think of Instagram, you don't think that it's the same thing as Twitter. You know that there's, kind of a unique experience when you go to it. So that's something that I like to see on Hive UIs, and I think each Hive UI should focus on what they do really well and kind of push toward that. Um, that's kind of how I've always looked at the different UIs on Hive. There's unique things that we all can do, and as separate teams, we should all be kind of building separately, but also together. And building separately means have your own vision for your UI and push that forward. But building together means that we're all building on the same base layer blockchain. So at the end of the day, what one team does that benefits their user base ultimately benefits, the team next to them. Kind of like we're all building in the same neighborhood. If your neighbor makes their house look nicer and cleans up their yard, then your house ultimately gains some value from that as well.
Yeah, even though we answered the question wrong, it applies on both fronts for sure.
100%, 100%.
If we're all fighting to get the same users, and then no one's going to win. But if we work collaboratively and we focus on what we're good at, then and focus on our niche, there shouldn't be any issues between any of the communities.
Yeah. And IDK Smart is curious about how many monthly active users we have in Leo, because to reach 1,000 premium users will require more new users as well. That is true, and that's why we haven't scratched the 10,000 monthly active users goal. And right now we have around 1,400 monthly active users. And regarding premium, we are at 220, if I recall correctly. Then there's what's the keyword of so
people
maybe want more Zilli campaigns. Yeah, well, maybe this is worth mentioning. So the reason there hasn't been any Zilli campaigns lately, it's not because we don't want to, it's because we as you know, we have a DHF proposal ongoing, and we have tried different ways of promoting in Leo and Hive, and so far the Zilli campaigns have been positive, but they have lacked a little bit of retention. So we are thinking of trying out different things and then keep going with what works, and what doesn't work, keep iterating until it does, or just scratch it. So for the near future, I don't think we have anything planned for in Leo regarding Zilli, but there might be something related to LeoDex pretty soon, but that we're still defining what it's going to be.
Yeah, and that ultimately goes back to our mission right now of cleaning up the UI and the technical debt, because I do see a big reason for, retention falling off as being, you don't want to be on an interface where you're constantly encountering bugs and app errors. So, the last data we ran on monthly active users were at, around 1,400 MAUs. And that's actually pretty incredible considering that the UI experience, in my opinion, is pretty shit. And it's been kind of shitty for the last, say, I don't know, six months. Like there's been tons of issues because, like I said, we were just hardcore focused on rolling out new features. And, I took on that knowing that that was a possibility and that was kind of what we were doing. And knowing that we needed this core feature set as soon as possible. Like I wanted to just snap my fingers and have it as quickly as we could. So now that we've gotten, we've gotten to a really good place already in terms of user experience compared to how it was even just like 60 to 90 days ago. Now, I think by the end of this month, we'll be at that tech debt zero kind of landmark that I've been looking for. retention should go up a lot, in my opinion, when people aren't encountering these app errors. So, we're going to be really focused on retaining users. And then while we retain them, going after new users and new audience segments, like Eric mentioned before, kind of reaching out to people on Hive that were using Inleo in the past but aren't using it anymore, primarily because of those issues. So we'll bring them back, to a much better experience that they haven't seen all these new features and they haven't experienced a bug-free Inleo. So once we're at that place, kind of bringing those people back. And then obviously now we've also got this big, cross-chain community that we can tap into. So I want to start putting in some work to the, community pages. I still believe that, communities are one of the number one ways to onboard tons of users, thousands of users can come from crypto communities and bringing them to Inleo. So, getting that bug-free experience and then really pushing on communities and getting people onboarded is going to be a big factor for us. We had Ice and Bread, so those were two influencers that we onboarded and paid a little bit of money to bring their communities and do threadcasts, sponsored threadcasts. And that was actually really valuable for us because we got a ton of really good feedback from them and their community members about what was missing from Inleo, the experience that they had of, signing up and using the interface. That was a really important moment for us to kind of get some outside of Hive attention in order to see what we were missing and what we needed to focus on. So, we've focused on those things. We've made onboarding even better. We're focused on bug fixes. And ultimately, I think that all of this tech debt getting cleared really sets the stage for us to go back out and start onboarding communities.
Yeah, and speaking of which, IDK Samad again. Wow, man, you're on fire. Many questions. So when are we dethroning all of these popular social fi platforms who are growing a lot? All of the apps are working on
We
better
already
user
have.
experience. One of the things, and as you guys know, we are very active on X because that's a big that's where a lot of our potential audience spends their day at. So SocialFi has a very bad reputation in general, and we actually are trying to get away from the SocialFi stereotype, because one, we are not SocialFi specifically. We are more of a decentralized social media, and SocialFi is more focused on how to degen and how to tokenize the social side of things. But as you know, the crypto space tends to go into degen mode, and all of these platforms have exploded and then pretty much died out. The friend token was a huge failure. Stars Arena suffered 2 hacks and then never recovered. And there are many others on Base and on many other platforms. But in general, we have been here for 5 years, almost 5 years, and we are planning to be here for the long run. So we are not planning on riding waves or using hype-based growth to get more users. And I mean, as Nifty says, dethroning, I don't think there's any other platform that has more features than we do, right, Nifty?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at these half-baked Web3 social fi platforms, whatever the hell you want to call them, like Friendtech and the Arena now, because it's been hacked and sold off like 17 times, and all that in the 1 year lifespan, if even a year. But you can't really compare Inleo or Hive as a whole to these things because it has been alive for so long and it hasn't imploded. It hasn't just completely gone under. And the opposite has happened with these other social fi platforms like Friendtech, and especially with their tokens. they've been completely destroyed because they just spin up these tokens, and they only real value is what someone's willing to pay for it. And when people stop using the platform, or they get left holding the bag of their friend that they bought keys for, they're just going to stop using it. And here we are. There was this huge hype cycle on Friend Tech and Stars Arena, and here we are. Nobody even talks about those anymore. I mean, maybe they do, but they're just trying to pump their bags. I don't think they actually care about using it.
Yeah, having real social interactions on Web3 that aren't just solely focused on, selling my, ticket access to, make some money and cash out is very unique to Hive. I don't really see it happening anywhere else. And on Inleo, by having, threads be the forefront of engagement and user experience, I think we are really at the top of the list when it comes to actually engaging and having relationships on chain. Like, there's hundreds of you guys that I see on threads, and when I see your name and your profile picture, I know, I have some background on you, and we've been talking back and forth and commenting with each other, and ultimately having a digital relationship, for years now. So there's a huge advantage that we have by being, kind of first to market in general, by being Hivers. And then, obviously with Inleo and all the features we have, I really believe that when we get to the, you know, I believe that we're feature complete now. And I think that the next lead domino is getting tech debt to zero, and having that in place is going to be, the experience of Inleo is just going to be so vastly superior to any other Web3 platform out there. And I think we're weeks away from tech debt zero. So I think it's, we're really getting to a great place.
And one of the main things that all of these new platforms experience is that the user base is very, I don't know the word, but like temporary. Maybe that's the word. Like, when a city has, like, I don't know, 2 million people at night, but 10 million people during the day, because a lot of people just come and go. So all of these population is not real. And in terms of social fi in general and decentralized social media, we have in Leo and Hive as well. We have a very what's the word, like home community, people that have been for a while and will not leave, and that helps us build from the ground up. And then when new people come, it's not about the team or the OGs to teach everyone, because the community also feels the platform is theirs, and and the Lions in general, we have a sense of belonging and a sense of community, that once we actually manage to get to the 10,000 new users, it will not be up to us to show them the way. The community, you guys who have been using Inleo for months and months, you will be able to also show them what's Inleo about and what's Hive about. And even if we experience some ups and downs, I mean, just look at the numbers. We have been more than 1,300 users for almost a year now. So I think that's that kind of continuity and that kind of we have established a floor, a user floor, and that's very, very important, especially in crypto, where people are just looking for the next best shiny thing, and they just leave a project, and projects come and go, and in the end, they are all fighting for the same user base, and projects just last for 2-3 months, and then they die out because nobody's using them anymore. Not within Leo, I think that's pretty important.
Sweet. Well, we've been going for a little over an hour. Um, any other final questions before we jump off and I get back to smacking bugs away?
Oh, something is telling me.
Oh, go ahead, Eric. Sorry.
No. I was just maybe some ticker is not. I think I read 2 or 3 times that I need to get closer to the mic, but the microphone is my headphone, so I don't know if I don't know. I'll check the recording. But yeah, you were gonna say something, Nifty. Sorry.
No, you're good. I honestly don't even remember what it was. I think that's a good spot to end it. It was something. Oh, Cal, my question for you to end the show was when SPS and DEC in production? When?
Yeah. Officially, I think we will be live by Thursday. That
There we
is
go.
yeah, we are, I actually did like 10 different SPS inbound and outbound swaps yesterday using both Keystore and XDeFi, and I didn't run into a single issue. So I think we're in a pretty good place. And as long as people understand that this is still beta, we still have things to work through. As long as you understand that and you test the UI, I think we're good. And yeah, if you guys haven't tried Hive inbound outbound swaps, really highly recommend trying it. If you do run into issues, which, like I said, I've been doing a bunch of swaps, haven't run into any issues. The other day, I had to sell like 500 Hive into USDC, and I did that through LeoDex, and I got a better price than I would have if I used something like MEXC, for example, to sell that Hive into USDC. So and then I had to buy Hive, I think like 3 or 4 days ago, and I used LeoDex for that, and ultimately got a better price than I would have on a centralized exchange. So it's I like there's a couple different people out there in the world that say this, so I'm definitely not the first one, but building products where you are like user number one, like you're the first in line to want to buy that product or use it in some form, is a great feeling. So LeoDex really is servicing a need that I have, which is buying and selling Hive, at least in small amounts already. So I'm happy to have built and be building something that I actually get a lot of value from using. So I hope other people start to use it for their Hive swaps and kind of get the same value out of it that I do.
Yeah, I mean, I've been testing it a lot. I've been using the Hive inbound and outbound, and it's very smooth now compared to even where it was a week ago in terms of stability. And you can tell exactly what's going on with the swap, which I love.
Yeah, and we improved that interface a lot for the showing each step of the way. So yeah, I'm very happy with it. Very, very happy with it.
Yeah, and for Wise Agent, he asked, I would just like to know when Leo to $1. And then IDK Samad, a very serious question. When Moon? So guys, I got a message from someone from a marketing agency, and not a marketing agency, like a crypto related agency, something like that. And they mentioned that as a team, we shouldn't talk a lot about price, and we should talk about the product and all of that. So I'm not gonna say when Moon, but you are more than welcome to speculate and drive the price up and invest as much as possible, even if you cannot afford to lose that, because you are part of the community. I'm not gonna do it, but you can.
Yep. Look at that old picture. I look like a child in that one. That's funny.
Oh, new UI.
That was before bashing head against wall and chewing glass
Yeah.
for 8 hours a day, 12
Yep.
hours a day.
Yeah, most people when I meet them think I'm in my late 30s, which I now realize that building this stuff has probably aged me. But I saw some people put up a thread, like a poll asking how old I was, and a couple people knew. So yeah, if you guys didn't know, I'm 26, and when Leo started, which was 5 years ago, I was 21. So you're getting up there. It's been a lot of years.
Cal's aging as fast as crypto now.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm aging in crypto years, that's for sure.
That picture is like from what, Polycop days?
Probably about 2 years ago, I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that was the launch of the first non-Frankenstein together version of the current UI. I think that was
I think it was before that, because that would have been
Maybe?
2023. I don't know. I think that's the
Oh
Polycub
wait,
UI
yeah,
launch, which would have been like
that's what it
almost
was.
3 years ago. Yeah. So I would have been like 23, but I look like I'm 18 in that.
Okay.
Sweet.
Well, guys,
We have
in the comment section,
155 viewers on the X live stream, so that's pretty cool.
yeah, I'm beginning to think that maybe it's the cumulative, like,
Cumulative views, yeah.
yeah, people that tuned in at some point. I don't know. Maybe it's not, but yeah. But guys in the audience, community, Lions, if you like this new format, let us know. If you liked it, then next week we'll have Pat as well, and it will be the four of us. If Cal wants us to be here, we'll be here. If the community wants us to be here, we will.
Yeah,
And if
definitely.
you'll have me, I'll have a better camera.
Let us
and
know
mic
what you think of this
next time.
format, and hopefully we'll have Mitch, and then we'll be back to the 4-person roundtables, the good old days.
Good old days. I'm gonna need to get a background, proper background.
All right, guys.
Proper background. Yeah,
Thanks for having
maybe
me.
we'll get some backgrounds made up for us. Morty was the OG background creator.
Get to whipping up some backgrounds.
Sweet.
Man.
Well, hopefully next week, I think we'll try to do 4-person roundtable. So Mitch, I think, will be back from out of town, and then Nifty and Eric, hopefully we can get you guys on the show. And then yeah, so that will be the 14th of May. Sweet.
Yep.
We will see you
then.
guys. Well, and then we've got Chain Chatter tomorrow. So Chain Chatter tomorrow, I think, and then at noon Eastern, and then after that, we'll see you guys for the next AMA.
Yes.
Sweet. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see ya.
See you guys.
See ya.